Welcome back to EDC For Beginners, the podcast where we help you navigate the world of everyday carry without the hype, confusion, or information overload. I'm Mikey from MikeyDailyCarry, and whether you're carrying your first pocket knife, building your first EDC setup, or just curious about what all this gear talk is about, you are in the right place. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about one of the most common questions people ask when they first discover everyday carry. Do you really need a knife? Now, before I answer that question, let's address the elephant in the room. For a lot of people outside of the EDC community, carrying a knife seems strange, maybe even intimidating. Some people immediately associate knives with self-defense or weapons, but if you've spent any amount of time around people in the EDC community, you'll quickly realize most of us view knives very differently. For us, they're tools, and honestly, probably some of the most used tools we carry. Think about your average week. How many packages do you open? How many Amazon boxes show up at your door? I'm a content creator, so that's every single day, multiple packages at a time. But other than that, how many zip ties do you cut? How many cardboard boxes do you break down? How many kids' toys do you have to open up? How many stubborn plastic packages do you fight with? These are the moments where a knife becomes incredibly useful. In fact, if you looked at how I use my knives, you'd probably be disappointed. There's nothing tactical about it. Most of the time, I'm opening boxes, cutting packages, cutting open toy boxes, or handling some random task around the house. As a husband and a dad, my knife gets used constantly for everyday tasks. And that's really the point. A knife doesn't have to be exciting to be useful. Now, let's answer the question. Do you need one? Maybe, maybe not. And that's okay. One thing you'll hear me repeatedly say on this podcast is that EDC is personal. What works for me may not work for you. What works for someone in construction may not work for someone in the office. What works for a parent may not work for a college student. There really isn't a universal EDC checklist. Sure, there's a bunch of freaking videos out there, but there isn't a golden standard. There isn't a secret formula. There's only what works for you and your real life. If you frequently find yourself wishing you had something sharp to cut things with, a knife may be worth considering. If you don't encounter any of those situations often, well, maybe it isn't. Now, if you think about carrying your first knife, I want to save you from a mistake many of us made. You don't need to buy the biggest, most expensive knife out there. You don't need to buy the latest and greatest with the titanium scales, crazy blade steel. You just have to start simple. I talked about it in a most recent episode. This right here is a knife from Ozark Trail. This thing is $10 at Walmart, but it's ambidextrous. It has an easy type of opening. It's pretty much a Benchmade bug out from Walmart for $10, and it works perfectly fine. It's comfortable, it's practical. Most importantly, it's something that you can find at almost every single Walmart in different colors. They have black, orange, blue, and I think gray. And most importantly, it's something that you'll actually carry. I carry this more than any of the knives I actually own because a knife sitting in a drawer doesn't help anybody. And before carrying a knife, make sure you're familiar with your local laws and workplace policies. That's important. At the end of the day, a knife is simply a tool. Not everyone needs one, but for many people, it's one of those most useful items that you can carry. So as we wrap this podcast episode up, ask yourself this: do you currently carry a knife? If you do, what was your first knife? And if you don't, what's the biggest reason you haven't started carrying one? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe and follow EDC For Beginners. And if you're looking for reviews, unboxings, bag content, and breakdowns, and other things that are, and all things everyday carry, make sure you check out my main channel, MikeyDailyCarry. Until next time, carry what works for you. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. Walk past.